Day, legendous. Huge shout out to our massive Aussie fan base tuning in from down under. We know you're waking up at the crack of dawn to catch the best sport on the planet. Before we dissect this move that's set to change the fate of the Niners, you know the drill. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. The info never stops here, and the vibes are strictly championship level. The return of the mastermind, Raheem Morris takes over the 49ers defense. They say the good son always returns home, but in Raheem Morris's case, he's coming back to the neighborhood, just into the biggest rival's house. In a cinematic twist, the San Francisco 49ers have announced the hiring of Morris as their new defensive coordinator. He arrives with the Herculean mission of replacing Robert Saleh, who's off to the Tennessee Titans, and restoring the glory of a unit that, despite being stacked with talent, was absolutely gutted by injuries last season. At 49 years old, Morris isn't just a name on the market, he's an NFL institution. His hiring marks the return of a strategist who knows the NFC West like the back of his hand. After a bittersweet stint as head coach in Atlanta, where he proved he can still draw up lethal game plans, as seen in the Falcons' shock upset over the Rams in Week 17 of 2025, Morris is now sporting the red and gold. It's the perfect match, a coach hungry to prove his worth and a franchise that needs a defensive leader with a real edge. Make no mistake, Robert Saleh's departure leaves a massive hole at Levi's Stadium. Saleh wasn't just the coordinator, he was the energetic soul of the sideline. However, Kyle Shanahan, in a masterstroke, went after someone who doesn't just keep the standard but brings a tactical versatility that Saleh was sometimes copping flack for lacking. Morris brings the experience of being the Rams' DC between 2021 and 2023, where he was a key cog in their Super Bowl 56 victory. He knows how to shut down explosive offenses because he's lived in the heart of one. The immediate challenge will be rebuilding the morale of a defense that finished 2025 feeling pretty frustrated. The transition won't just be technical, it'll be psychological. Morris is known as a player's coach, the kind of bloke players would run through a brick wall for, and that'll be vital for uniting a locker room that just lost its main defensive spark. If you love a good rivalry narrative, buckle up. Raheem Morris will now have 2 cracks a year at Sean McVay and the Rams. The respect between the two is massive, but footy is a ruthless business. By taking the job in San Fran, Morris is stepping right into the firing line of the most competitive division in the league. The Falcons' win over the Rams late in the 2025 season was a massive statement. Morris showed he knows exactly how to rattle Matthew Stafford and shut down LA's run game. Now, imagine him with the weapons San Francisco has, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and the rest. If Morris could do damage with that Falcons roster, what can he do with the Legion of Boom 2.0 that Shanahan is building? The NFC West just became a high-stakes chess match where every move Morris makes will be under the microscope. Historically, the 49ers under Saleh and DeMeco Ryans ran a 4-3 base with wide 9 principles, focusing on aggressive frontline pressure. Raheem Morris, while respecting that setup, is famous for his adaptability. At the Rams, he used a lot more Vic Fangio-style concepts, with 2 high shells to take away the big plays and force the offense to be patient. What we can expect in 2026, disguised coverages to mess with the QB's head, using Nick Bosa in even more creative ways, maybe even some exotic stunts to attack weak guards, and situational aggression. Unlike the more conservative coordinators in the Fangio tree, Morris isn't afraid to dial up a blitz if he smells blood in the water. Switching sides within the division is always a massive call, but between the Rams and 49ers, it's basically a declaration of war. Morris joins an elite list of pros who've crossed the California border looking for success with the enemy. His familiarity with McVay's offensive systems and the tendencies of Arizona and Seattle gives San Fran a competitive edge you can't just find in the stats book. Plus, Morris's career is one of the most resilient in the NFL. From a young gun in Tampa to a championship coordinator in LA, through the ups and downs in Atlanta, the man is a survivor. And in the 2026 NFL, where offenses are getting more complex by the day, having a wise old owl like Morris running the defense is the biggest trump card Kyle Shanahan could have hoped for. Behind-the-scenes whispers suggest Fred Warner was one of the first to celebrate the news. The Niners' elite linebacker has always admired the way Morris's defenses communicate and adjust on the fly. Communication was a nagging issue late last season, with alignment blunders costing them big games. Morris's arrival signals a system flush. He's not here to keep things as they are, he's here to evolve. GM John Lynch has made it clear the defensive budget will be aggressive this offseason to give Morris every tool he needs. The goal is simple: get back to being the #1 defense in the league and make sure Brock Purdy's offense doesn't have to put up 30 points every week just to get a win. Raheem Morris becoming the 49ers' defensive coordinator is the move that reshuffles the NFC West pecking order. San Francisco didn't just fill a vacancy, they pinched the brain that helped their biggest rival win a ring recently. For our Aussie fans watching, get ready. The 2026 season is going to be all about defensive intensity. Morris has the knowledge, the players have the talent, and the division is set for an epic revenge story. The Morris effect starts now. And if you're standing in the way of this defense, you better watch out. The impact is going to be massive.